Good evening, friends. Welcome you to another session of Sahodar Virtual Live. The Corona cases in Delhi has dropped a little bit more, and people have started asking me when are we going to start the physical meetings. So as of now, we are not going to start it till lockdown continues. I hope everybody in your family and you are safe, and it is a time to remain vigilant. It is not the time to meet as of now. However, these sessions are there because we at Sahodar believe that nothing should come in the way of or in the path of justice, and any man who is looking for advice shall get advice. We at Sahodar believe in our motto, equality for men, and we'll work towards it. So let us start with today's question answer session. And the first question is from a person having a screen name A Van. And the question is, my wife is at her parental home since January 2019. She and her parents are asking me to desert my parents and shift to their mohalla and live on rent. I am a lone son of my parents and shouldn't desert them. When I tried to get mediators involved, she filed a frivolous DV suit against me, praying for maintenance, and she barred me from meeting my daughter. I filed a guardianship suit. What should I do to save my life as she is hell bent on to spoil it? Wife is no longer trustworthy in my eyes. Uh, and there is a long story. I believe that is the end of it. What should necessarily be included in first statement of father in guardianship suit? So, my dear friend, you have tried meeting your daughter, and now you are all set to file a guardianship suit, or you have said that you have already filed a guardianship suit. So you would have set out your contentions in that particular suit by now. Once you have filed a suit, there is nothing called opening statement or opening lines in any suit. When you speak about Indian scenario, you set out your grievances in the suit, and then you set out what relief you want. And whether that is legally tenable or not, that is set out by your lawyer. If you have any other question, please write clearly what assistance you are seeking, because the suit has already been filed. We'll definitely be ready to assist you in all manners. Rajesh G has a question. Wife submitted an interim application under DV Act by mentioning no source of income, but in the DI report submitted by Women Welfare under Section 20 of Economic Violence, one of the columns mentioned loss of income compensation in the form of money. She claimed 5 lakhs. In maintenance application, she sold no source of income, whereas in DI report 5 lakhs she lost from income. I want to know what she mentioned, 5 lakh in income or some other meaning under economic violence mentioned in the DI report. Shall I bring this issue up in argument to prove she was working? Rajesh, please understand there are two different things altogether. Wife has mentioned that at present she has no source of income. It does not mean that she never worked. If she has mentioned that she has never worked and she has no capacity to earn, that is a totally different point of view. Loss of income and compensation for it is a different matter altogether, which in economic violence means that you prevented the woman from earning a livelihood. So prevention of going out and earn is also a form of economic violence as envisaged with domestic violence case. So yes, she can ask for compensation for loss of income when she was not even earning, stating that she was not allowed to earn. This argument cannot prove that she is earning, she was working, though this can be used to prove that she has capacity to earn. She should now be earning because there is nothing which is stopping her from earning now. So this is the way argument should be put to the court, and not that because she is asking for loss of earnings, so she should be, it should be construed that she was working in the past. No, we should say that she has already stated that we stopped her from earning when she was living with us. Now she is not living with us. That means she can go out and earn, and she should earn, because that is what her grievance was. So I'll take the next question, and the next question is from a screen name Amit M. Wife mentioned on notice that the notice is CC. Sent a copy to my office address, but no such message or information from office people. Can I file defamation on this basis? Unfortunately, there is something more. Sir's wife had lied in her 125 maintenance case. After her truth was revealed in court, she withdrew. Again, this is something which is totally different. So Amit has said that wife has mentioned in the notice which he has sent to him that it has been sent to the office address as well. Let us understand what this means, and I need clarity on it. When a letter is sent to my office address mentioned to me, it is generally opened by me. However, when it is mentioned that it is sent to my HR to be delivered to me, that means HR is aware of my letter, or he is privy to the communication which has happened to me. If it is sent to my senior that this is the content which should be given to me, then it is a letter through an intermediary to me. Merely sending a communication to your office address by no stretch of imagination will be construed as defamation. We should not go that path. You have some other queries also, and I'll take it. And the query is, she lied in her 125 maintenance case. After her truth was revealed in court, she withdrew, saying the matter is settled between both parties. Can malicious prosecution be filed? Because wife withdrew the case, but there was no discharge of the case, was uncontested disposed of. No, once the case is withdrawn on the settlement, no malicious prosecution case can be filed at this stage. Now the question is from a person having the screen name Tech MNC. The question is, sir, in my marriage, no dowry asked, given or taken, but father-in-law is police, lodged the 498A, 506, 504, 114, 149, DP 2, 3 and 6 by saying dowry was given and they are harassing my daughter for higher dowry. Since there is no list of presentation as per dowry prohibition rules 85, then is it a strong base to deny dowry given for me? Please guide me. Thank you very much. My dear friend, who is asking you whether you have received a dowry or not? Nobody is going to ask this question to you. Not at least till you stand in a witness box as a defense evidence, as a defense witness. So she has to prove that dowry was presented, and it was presented on your demand to bring about a conviction in Dowry Prohibition Act. For 498A, exchange of dowry is immaterial. What they have to prove, or the prosecution have to prove, is that the complainant or the lady in this particular case was harassed for demand of dowry. So please understand, there are two different things. Whether any dowry was exchanged or not is not a point of contention in 498A. The only thing which needs to be proved in 498A is that there was a harassment, and that harassment was linked with demand of dowry. Remain calm. You have nothing to prove in this case. Let them prove the case. Let them prove the case by what amount of dowry was given, from where it was purchased, when it was handed over, and on whose demand it was handed over. If they are unable to prove, then you will get acquittal in this particular case. However, if they are able to prove, we'll think of what we need to do in that matter which defense witnesses to be presented, if at all, in this case. Raj Fighter 498A, good screen name. 498, not 498A. Namaste, sir. Is it possible to ask IO for wife's mobile location records? If yes, what is the best and effective way for it? She claimed events when she was not in Delhi. So, Raj, if she has claimed that she was in Delhi, or the events happened when she was not in Delhi, and her claim is that the events happened on such and such date, you can request the IO to bring on record call location records. Also, you can put an application in the magistrate court that these records should be preserved. These records should be preserved, and you can call it as evidence during the trial. So the only request you are making to the magistrate is that these particular call details should be preserved. We are not asking that it should be handed over to me or it should be handed over to prosecution even. Yes, I can request the IU, but IU may not act on my request. If I think that these records are very vital and can prove my innocence, then I can request a magistrate for the same. However, most of the places, these records are immaterial, they are not required at all. If you think that it is of vital importance, please understand, only if you think that it is of vital importance, you should go this path. Otherwise, most of the cases, it will never be required. Sumnath Bhaskar has a question, and the question is it necessary to wait for final order of CRPC 125 before filing of CRPC 127? So Sumnath, in 125, two kind of orders happen. One is interim maintenance order, the other is final order. What are you trying to change? What circumstances have changed, and which order you are trying to change? If you are trying to change the interim order and the circumstances have since then changed, you can file 127 at this point of time also. There is no point in waiting for the final order 125. The maintenance is granted to a woman. Interim maintenance has been granted to a woman. Woman has started working and earning. I can bring CRPC 127 application same day. There is nothing which is required for me to wait till the final order. Amoon RA Creation has a question. I want to transfer Section 9 from FC to any other competent court in the same city. There is only one FC judge. Should I move to HC or PDG, Principal District Judge of that district? I believe in this case, the only way is you will have to go to High Court, because Principal District Judge and Family Court Judge, they are both at the same level. The Principal District Judge may not be able to order anything or any change in circumstance to any other judge, because Family Court has its own set of cases which is solely dealt by family courts. Only High Court can correct it. चेतन कुमार जी का सवाल है, लास्ट सेशन में एक सवाल का जवाब नहीं मिल पाया था, मिस हो गया था, काइंडली बताएं। सवाल ये था कि एमसीडी के केस में डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट के कराने में फ्यूचर में क्या कोई दिक्कतें हो सकती हैं, और हाई कोर्ट से क्वैश कैसे बेटर होता है, काइंडली थोड़ा एडवाइस कीजिए। आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। चेतन जी, मेरे ख्याल से मैंने इस सवाल का जवाब दे दिया था। जब आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोर्ट में किसी केस को क्लोज करवाते हैं, जो कि केस कंपाउंडेबल नहीं है, तो उसके अंदर विटनेस आता है, वो अपने बयान बदलता है और वो कोर्ट में कहता है कि मैंने या तो ऐसा बयान दिया नहीं था पुलिस को, या ये कहता है कि ये मेरा जो बयान था ये मैंने गुस्से में दिया था, वाकई में ऐसी ऐसी घटनाएं नहीं हुई थी। बहुत सारे सिटीज़ में ये ट्रेंड है कि विटनेस होस्टाइल हो जाते हैं, जजेस उनको कुछ नहीं कहते हैं, पुलिस भी उन पे कोई कार्रवाई नहीं करती है। पर इसको मैं ठीक नहीं समझता हूँ। पहले मेरा इसको लेकर कोई खास विचार नहीं था, पर अब है। मैंने बहुत बार देखा है कि लोग बाद में बयान बदलने से कतराने लगते हैं। ऐसी स्थिति में जब आपका एग्रीमेंट हुआ ही है और नॉन कंपाउंडेबल ऑफेंस 498A को हाई कोर्ट क्वैश करता ही करता है, ऐसा नहीं है कि 498A क्वैश नहीं होता है। ये कोई रेप का केस नहीं है जो क्वैश नहीं होगा। रेप के केस में अक्सर ऐसा देखा गया है कि इंड्यूसमेंट की वजह से लड़कियां बयान बदलती हैं। 498A में भी सेम ट्रेंड फॉलो होता है बहुत सारे शहरों में। मैं इसे सही नहीं मानता, क्योंकि कुछ जजेस या कुछ एपीपी महोदय इसमें लड़की को क्रॉस एग्जामिन करते हैं, और अगर ये कहीं साबित हो जाता है कि आपने विटनेस को बहलाया है, फुसलाया है, तो ये एक डिस्टिंक्ट क्राइम को जन्म देता है। 100 में से या 1000 में से 999 केसेस में ऐसा नहीं होता है, 10,000 में से 9,999 केसेस में ऐसा नहीं होता है, पर किसी एक केस में ऐसा हो सकता है। इसलिए मेरी एडवाइस यही रहती है कि जहां तक हो सके इन केसेस को हाई कोर्ट में ले जाकर क्वैश करना, क्योंकि ये जो ट्रेंड बनाया है ये ट्रेंड ही गलत है कि हम गवाही बदलवा देंगे, झूठी गवाहियां करवा देंगे। इसका कहीं ना कहीं बेजा इस्तेमाल होने लगता है। कोर्टें इन चीज़ों पे आंखें बंद कर लेती हैं। आज ये पहले ये 498 के केसेस में होता था, आज ये रेप के केसेस में हो रहा है। लड़की झूठे केसेस लगाती है, पैसे लेती है, गवाही बदलती है, घर पे बैठती है। अगर किसी ने कोई केस किया है और वो एग्रीमेंट पे खत्म हो रहा है तो बेटर यही है कि उसको हाई कोर्ट से क्वैश कराया जाए। अगर वो कंपाउंडेबल नहीं है तो उसको लड़ा जाए, मेरा ऐसा मानना है। दूसरा सवाल इनका है, एमसीडी में लड़की अगर अपने मेंटेनेंस का त्याग करती है तो क्या एमसीडी होने के बाद फ्यूचर में कभी मेंटेनेंस मांग सकती है, और लड़की दूसरी शादी के बाद भी मांग सकती है क्या पहले हस्बैंड से? तो दूसरी शादी के बाद पहले हस्बैंड से मेंटेनेंस लेने का ऐसा कोई जजमेंट मैंने देखा नहीं है जिसमें ग्रांट किया गया हो। हाँ, लड़की मेंटेनेंस का त्याग करने के बाद भी मेंटेनेंस मांग सकती है, ऐसे बहुत से केसेस हैं। बहुत ही मिनिस्क्यूल है, मतलब कि टोटल केसेस में से तो बहुत ही मिनिस्क्यूल है, पर ऐसे फिर भी बहुत सारे ऐसे केसेस हैं जिसमें स्थितियों में बहुत बदलाव होने की वजह से कोर्टों ने, बहुत से अलग अलग कोर्ट्स ने, कहीं में फैमिली कोर्ट ने, कहीं में हाई कोर्ट ने कुछ ना कुछ मेंटेनेंस ऐसी औरतों को जरूर दिया है जिन्होंने एक बार मेंटेनेंस का त्याग किया हो। मैं आपको फिर याद दिला देता हूं कि मेंटेनेंस और चाइल्ड कस्टडी माफ कीजिएगा, मेंटेनेंस और चाइल्ड कस्टडी दोनों केसेस कभी भी खोले जा सकते हैं। इनके जो भी ऑर्डर्स होते हैं इंटरलोकेटरी होते हैं और स्थितियों के साथ इनमें बदलाव किया जा सकता है। बहुत से लोग आते हैं कि हमने एक बार तय कर लिया था 5,000 रुपये मेंटेनेंस देना, 3,000 रुपये मेंटेनेंस देना, लड़की 5 साल बाद फिर आ गई कोर्ट के अंदर और कहती है अब इसकी इनकम बढ़ गई है तो मेंटेनेंस बढ़ाई जाए, और कोर्ट ने एंटरटेन कर लिया। बिल्कुल करेगी। इनका तरीका यही होता है, अगर आप एक मुश्त मेंटेनेंस नहीं दे रहे हैं और आप पीरियोडिक मेंटेनेंस दे रहे हैं तो उसमें थोड़ा इंक्रीमेंट 4%, 3%, 5% हर दूसरे साल, हर तीसरे साल आप उसके अंदर ऐसी कोई कंडीशन डाल लीजिए जिससे कि उसके आने की प्रोपेंसिटी कम हो सके। ऐसा नहीं है कि वो फिर नहीं आ सकती, आ सकती है, पर एंटरटेन करने, कोर्ट को एंटरटेन करने की भी एक वजह चाहिए होती है। कोर्ट कहेगा कि आपने ये एग्री किया था तो ठीक है, इसी पे रहिए। Now I'll take the next question, and the next question is from screen name Sachindra De, and the question is, sir, good evening. I serve in defense. My wife has filed FIR under 498 and 379. I remain on bail. Thereafter, she denied to stay with me before women's cell in return. I filed for quashing and divorce. She approached the service authority for relocation without reconciliation, without withdrawing case. Thereafter, filed application for maintenance. I have replied to show cause notice justifying reason to restrain from sale. but service will grant a fixed ratio of pay without seeing all pros and cons. Please advise me on ways to restrain the maintenance grant by service authority. Sachindra, there is a certain provision in Army, Navy, and Air Force Act, and I believe similar acts has been passed by various other services also, CRPF and all, which says that a certain fixed amount of pay shall be paid to wife and children if husband is not maintaining them. And unless there is an order from a civil court, this cannot be stopped. This is the reality. This is something which cannot be prevented. I have been told by one of services person that recently or maybe few months back, Supreme Court came out with an order stating that these kind of orders should not be passed in mechanical manner, and ladies should be asked to go to civil court for maintenance. But I have not seen that order. I asked for the copy. I have not been given that copy, and I have not been able to find any such order on my own. However, do make a search. If you can find such an order, maybe you can save on your maintenance from the army, which would be in the range of 22 or 33% of your take-home income. Barun Prasad has a question. There is a question from Baljit Singh. I had missed it. How to obtain a copy of charge sheet from court before the summoning? If a charge sheet has been filed in the court, you can apply for certified copy, and it is very easy. You can file a wakalatnama that I am aware that the charge sheet has been filed and it is fit for such and such date. Provide me with a copy of charge sheet. You will be provided. There is no need of summoning you any further. I'll take question from Barun Prasad, and the question is, hello Shoni sir, lots of good wishes to you. Thank you very much. Similar wishes, reciprocated. Sir, I have two questions. If the wife once took back the DV case where interim not decided due to mutual divorce, then if MCD fails, she has to file a fresh case, or the same case can be restored. Both the things are possible. Same case also can be restored, and she can file a fresh case also. Second, if in 498A husband get acquittal, so whether the wife may enter his house forcefully, that there is no case pending, and whether during pendency of 498A she may enter forcefully. When you are asking about force, anybody can enter your house forcefully, and certainly a woman who was once married to you can enter your house forcibly. You can restrain her also forcibly. If somebody is trying to enter your house without a court order or without a protection order, you have all the right to restrain her forcibly. It is not throwing her away. So please understand, if the wife has already entered your house, no police officer will intervene and remove her from your house. However, if the wife has not entered your premises, she is still outside and she calls the police and she wants to enter your house forcibly without a court order, no police officer generally would assist her in getting entry to your house. So please be resolute. Do not let such women enter your house. Once again, can she try? Yes, she can try. दीपक निगम हैज अ क्वेश्चन. दीपक निगम जी का सवाल है, जैसे कि आपने एक वीडियो में बताया था कि डीवी में 25 सबसेक्शन 2 के तहत नाम हटवाया जा सकता है, तो क्या मैं रिप्लाई फाइल करने से पहले ही ये लगवाना चाहिए? क्या ऐसा ही 498 में भी कर सकते हैं? क्या लड़के की विल में? अलग अलग सवाल है ये. तो दीपक जी, पहली बात तो 25(2) जो एप्लीकेशन है, सेक्शन 25 और सब सेक्शन 2 के अंदर आप एप्लीकेशन लगा सकते हैं हटवाने की. जरूरी नहीं है कि हर एक मैजिस्ट्रेट इसको एंटरटेन करता है. दिल्ली में ये कस्टम है, ये एक प्रैक्टिस है. बहुत से स्टेट्स के अंदर आपको इसको चैलेंज ही करना पड़ता है सेशन कोर्ट के अंदर, कि मुझे जब मेरा कोई डोमेस्टिक रिलेशनशिप नहीं था इस लड़की के साथ, तब भी मुझे समन किया गया. 498 में ऐसी कोई सूरत नहीं है कि जब आदमी डोमेस्टिक रिलेशनशिप में नहीं रहता उसके ऊपर 498 का केस दर्ज नहीं हो सकता। तो इसलिए 498 के केस में नहीं किया जा सकता। आपका एक और सवाल है, क्या लड़के की विल में पत्नी का नाम बेदखल होने की कंडीशन में भी वो उसको लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सम इंश्योर्ड के क्लेम में ले सकती है? तो दोस्त, अगर आपने एक विल बनाई है, उससे पहले आपने एक लाइफ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी ली थी, तो लाइफ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी में बेनिफिशियरी का नाम होता है। अगर बेनिफिशियरी आपकी बीवी है तो डेफिनेटली वो उस क्लेम को ले सकती है, वो क्लेम कर सकती है उस सम को। ऐसी स्थिति में आपको जो लाइफ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी है उसमें भी बेनिफिशियरी का नाम बदलवा लेना चाहिए। आपको एक एप्लीकेशन देनी पड़ती है इंश्योरेंस कंपनी को कि मैं अपना बेनिफिशियरी चेंज करना चाहता हूँ, जो कि पूर्व में मेरी पत्नी थी, अब मेरी माँ, मेरे पिताजी, मेरा भाई, मेरी बेटी, मेरा भतीजा, मेरा बेटा, या जिसे भी आप करना चाहते हैं। विल में आप ओवरराइडिंग इफेक्ट दे सकते हैं विल इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी के नॉमिनेशन के लिए, स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन करते हुए कि ये पॉलिसी में बेनिफिशियरी उसमें चेंज कराना चाह रहा हूं या प्रयास में हूं उसको चेंज कराने में, पर अगर इस दौरान कुछ हो जाता है तो ये विल प्रिवेल करेगी। आप बिल्कुल उसमें ओवरराइडिंग इफेक्ट दे सकते हैं। Ramesh Gigi, this is another Ramesh. Here is a question. Sir, in DV generally interim maintenance will be ordered without prima facie of DV. Is there any way to cancel her maintenance based on no DV, no maintenance? In some cases, maintenance ordered, but in final order, her DV was disproved. In that case, whether she is eligible to get the maintenance or interim will be dismissed. If DV is disproved by husband in final order, what is the probable benefit she may get at the end of the case? Thank you in advance. So the question is, if she is granted domestic violence interim maintenance and the domestic violence is not proved, that means she will not get final maintenance. That is the right understanding. If no domestic violence is proved, no interim orders will be made in final orders, will be converted into final orders. The benefit which will come to her would be whatever money she has gotten during the interim stage or during the case when the case was pending. And unfortunately, there is no way to get this money back. Very unfortunate, but that is the truth. There is hardly a way, or I have not seen even a single judgment where the money has been returned for non-proving of the domestic violence or grounds of 125. So that is why it is very important that you fight interim with all vigor, and interim is fixed as minimum. Also, you must run cases super fast, in a super fast manner after interim is decided, so that final maintenance is decided as soon as possible. Most of the cases get settled at the stage of evidence when the woman has to come and prove the case. So please understand and run your cases as fast as possible. So friends, I'll take the last question now. The next question is from Abhijit Patil, and the question is, Sir, I have won the ex parte decree of divorce on 24/4/2017 based on cruelty and desertion. The ex-wife has filed CRPC 125 almost after 4 years of divorce, and the question is not clear. So if the question is not clear, let us leave it at this. So friends, I'm very happy that lot of people are joining and asking questions, and we are able to assist so many people even during this pandemic. If you are liking it, please subscribe to our channel and tell others about this channel so that they can also subscribe to this channel and benefit from their question and answer session. I have been asked to announce the topic of Thursday's session, and Thursday session would purely be about interim maintenance and your queries related to Rajneesh versus Neha judgment. So please, if you are listening to this broadcast, please bring questions related to the topic only. Till then, I can see that there are a lot of questions pending, and we'll definitely try to take it in the future sessions. Till then, sayonara. See you again, and let us all say, we'll fight for equality for men. Thank you very much.